a hero sort of later in the series, like later in the draft, early in the series, and then the next game they'll pick it really early because they went in knowing it was strong, but like, hey, we can get a 5th pick this game. Next game, like, you know what, we were gonna have the 1st pick of this game. I did like Random's idea going in though. They drafted something that I don't think OG has seen before. I think that's how, when Team Random was Wings, they had a lot of success. They would run different drafts and they just surprise their opponents.
Do you feel that there's also an element of maybe Random think, yeah, okay, OG are too strong for us right now, we need to throw something crazy at them that puts them off their game?
I don't feel like Team Random has that mentality.
Right.
I don't even know if they consider their opponents will have to draft, so they're just...
Do they even know they're in the lobby?
Yeah. I mean, to be serious, I don't think Team Random is scared. They're the TI champions.
Yeah.
They're going to open up things with the Venge.
Yeah, this is the hero that they've been liking. Well, I mean, it's hard to say it. This is the hero that they've been liking the most. And I mean,
they've played it more times than anything else by 1.
By 1.
By 2 now.
By 2 now, yeah.
By 2 now. Oh, no, sorry. They have 4 games on Crystal made it too, so by 1.
It's funny. OG ended up banning or picking the puck the entirety of their last series. I don't know if they know something that we haven't seen, or but usually they either give that puck to S4, or maybe they think that Team Random has a puck and they're just kind of afraid of it.
I love the Venge too because it leaves like, just to talk about that one again, it leaves them like the openness of, if their Enigma is there, they have something to actually deal with that black hole. It also just, like we said, they like to play around with the Venge, at least from what we've seen. It just gives them a lot of... It's just like a safe hero to pick up. It's kind of like the Crystal Maiden kind of in a sense, but he gives you a push in that aspect.
So what we're saying here is that OG was planning to pick the Enigma last from the first ban last game. Because they banned out the Venge, and we were all just like, this is a top-lane hero. But OG is smart enough, smart, to ban out this Venge. To pick
and then the reason they don't ban it this time round is that then they think Random will probably take it, which means they're not planning to play the Enigma anyway this game.
They probably have a strat against Venge, to be honest.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, we made them scared of Enigma. We're going to leave it in a pool. If they don't ban it, they have to be scared of it. They're going to pick this Venge hero that we banned last time. They think we're scared of it, but no. We're just setting it up for a strat.
And they go for
Dazzle Brew.
So Dazzle, counteracting of the physical damage that Vengeful can give with the Wave of Terror, with the aura as well. You get your weave. So he's very useful versus those type of physical
and Brewmaster is another one who counteracts physical with both his evasion and his mischance on the haze.
Helps as well to like defending tier 1s and stuff. You get your level 6 early on Panda. Ideally, you want to like group up and try to pressure the tier 1s early, get a bit of a tower advantage. But versus a Brewmaster, he's one of like the very strong team fighters, and OG really likes this hero.
In particular, Dazzle Brewmaster has always been a great combo. I think it's for like a few reasons, but the 2 main ones are, one, you can always get your Brewmaster ult off. What happens with Brewmaster oftentimes is before you get Blink, it's really hard to get that ultimate off. You have to run in, you might get stunned, silenced, burst it down. You have Shallow Grave for that. Another one is you just split the Broodlings, you have 3 units, and you just heal on them, and it does a ton of damage.
Yeah, we used to see like a kind of approach when people were doing like the Venge Brewmaster as well. The Brewmaster with like blinking clap and with just a Wave of Terror on top. He's actually like super powerful to able to go for those type of kills with that kind of setup. Dazzle is like a little bit different, but kind of similar in a way. So they go for a bat right away. So
there's one way to counteract the Grave, right? They think, hey, if we don't have something to sort of reposition the Brewmaster, they're always going to get it off with the Shallow Grave, the Brewmaster ulti, that is. So with Batrider Lasso, you can sort of drag away. We might even see a swap into Batrider Lasso. Like, that's something that Wings would really want to focus on.
Yeah. Wings tends to like to have like this one type of like vision hero, something to like get that kind of information. And versus a Dazzle, it's very important to have that type of vision to get him into the back lines.
Also, Faith Beyond is just a crazy man on the Batrider.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
No fear. Ever.
How would you go with a ban on a Timber?
Shadow's been known to play that hero both mid and safe lane for this team, so perhaps I think one of the options that Team Random might offer is some sort of aggro with the Batrider and matching up the Timbersaw 1v1 versus a Brewmaster. That could, maybe they think that's a vulnerability in what they're planning. Bristleback ban.
Yep, same ban as last time.
That has to be some sort of like, you think that might be from like scrims or something, or because like that's both times they just really don't want to play versus the Bristle. Maybe it's just
not ultra scared of it, otherwise it would have been a first phase ban, which means I guess if this does go to a game 3, OG know that if they want it, they're going to have to first pick it.
Do you think maybe it's because of like the way, like with Warpath, to like push buildings, like maybe that's the way that they're looking at? I'm just trying to think of like why that they'd really target the Bristle so much.
I personally feel like Bristleback's a really strong hero. I know there are a couple teams who are picking it at a pretty high priority. So I think that just means that Team Random screened one of them and they got absolutely wrecked.
Okay.
Or maybe, to be honest, maybe they just saw that one game from Weeha because that was
scary.
That was the best performance I've ever seen.
Yeah.
That hero is good though. They banned out the Alchemist this time.
Well, OG has been known to play it.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Sorry.
They do play it.
Have they?
Yeah, they played it the last 2 games against Thunderbirds and won both games.
I got that as irony, but yeah, I think
Connor got baited.
I can't tell if I'm getting counter baited at this point.
The mind games on the panel have begun.
I think the Ursa ban out from OG is pretty interesting too. I think that right now Team Random has a very single target draft. I really like Ursa as a hero, but I've typically found that it's hard to play him with offlaners like Batrider because they don't provide the team fight that you want to back up a hero like Ursa. They also have a Dazzle who's generally pretty good versus Ursa.
Do you think that leads to potentially having an Omni here? Obviously, Brewmaster probably going to go into the offlane, but obviously the one big thing we've seen Ursa as a counter to that Omni Knight.
There are a lot of heroes that Ursa's sort of specifically good against. I think maybe one of the reasons is that the heroes that are good against Batrider, like Lifestar and Juggernaut, Ursa's specifically good against.
That's a very good point. Yeah.
That's what I expect from OG. I expect them to pick for their carry something that matches up well with the Batrider because they're gonna want to be able to move their supports around at some point.
Tusk Dazzle, always a cool combo. The snowball with Dazzle Bomb.
Yeah, double save is also just
double save.
A strong concept in Dota in general. What happens when you see this Dazzle hero as Batrider Avenge is, hey, what was that game we saw?
Team Liquid?
I can't remember the last one where someone would just see the Dazzle and always go for a fight. Was it our first series today? Anyways, so there are a lot of games where you'll spot out their save and you'll know, if I initiate on this guy, we will win the fight. But it's really hard to do that when you have heroes like Tuskar and Dazzle because you have to grab both of them or they're going to save each other.
I think it might have been Team Liquid. Yeah, they had the Doom. No, that was a different one. No, can't go off the top of my head here.
I'm trying to getting into Random's mind, but
don't try, man.
Good luck with that.
Get lost.
He's been silent for about 5 minutes, so it's been going on for quite a while.
It's definitely almost broken at this point.
I think it's broken fogged as well. Can someone send in a team? Yeah, it's broken him.
Yep. Got nothing.
Where'd you go? Where'd you go with it?
Like to see them with the third pick is sort of commit to whether they want to team fight against this Brewmaster out and Weave, or just go for this more split push with tower pressure idea. I think these are the 2 general lineups we've been seeing at this tournament. I don't know.
Do you think maybe they might go for a silencer type of thing? Okay, as I said that, they go for a Wyvern.
I think OG wanted to pick Lycan, and Team Random knew that. And that's why they're picking the Wyvern now, because they think that OG's lineup, like Brewmaster and Dazzle, generally what you need with them is a high physical damage hero. And they're thinking, hey, if your lineup needs this, even if you haven't picked it yet, we can preempt it by picking a Wyvern. We can turn that against you already.
It's a risky way of doing it, though, isn't it?
Sort of, but even if it wasn't like an OG, they need a physical damage dealer. And OG are like, screw you, we're picking Ember. So.
And now we've...
I still
Magic.
then. OG will pick a physical damage dealer. That's the last one. I think it's hard to play without it.
Absolutely.
There is one sort of exception in that Brewmaster is a good building breaker, especially for a high ground. It's no Panda Invoker, but his BAT actually got lowered on the Earth Panda in this last patch. So without the Invoker, you break it a little bit faster than before.
Very little time left here for Random.
Yeah, they clearly spent a lot of time thinking about that last pick.
I think they want some more like real catch for the Ember now.
Yeah, they need to pick a good mid matchup versus them too.
Okay, so Troll.
I don't understand the pick. I don't, but...
Physical damage dealer to complement with the Venge,
That's true. It gives you like,
the building
if you
push
lasso,
early on.
no matter who the other heroes are around, you'll have enough burst to kill off the target and lasso. I'm curious to see how they're going to tie their lineup together with their last pick, though. It's...
I'm curious what OG's going to think they're going to tie at the last.
Versus
what is that last ban, right?
You know, Troll Warlord's actually a decent matchup mid versus Ember.
Yeah, it is.
It's not super one-sided, but if Troll has ganks, I think Ember is actually the more vulnerable one.
I think maybe also for the Troll, like with versus the Brewmaster versus his Brewlings, you're able to just like Whirling Axes and get in there. You can actually maybe even like focus one down and bring it down.
That's true.
But definitely different. They have not picked this hero, I don't believe, so they are.
Silencer.
I think the Silencer is very good versus the double save, as we were talking about before.
Yeah,
that's one way to deal with it.
That's an excellent point. It's also like playing Ember mid versus Silencer is miserable.
Because then it leaves it like open. Because then the Venge could carry, and then they have the Troll mid. So they having their type of 2 supports, the Wyvern and Silencer could have been definitely an option for random.
Or even a Core Silencer.
Or even Core Silencer, yeah.
I think how OG feels. The reason they would ban Silencer is they feel like Team Random's lineup is too dependent on this lasso. So the thing that makes the lasso work the best is, as you said, the Silencer, and they feel like the heroes don't work well together without lasso instantly killing one target and being unable to react. They feel like if they lasso and they get a snowball after lasso ends or a grave during the lasso, then they will be able to take any team fight.
Oh,
I like it.
I love this.
That's
versus
a great
this
pick.
is so good versus Ember Spirit as well. You are picking it into like weave and stuff, but now it gives them like, this is them. They have, look at their building. Their objective taking is massive right now in Team Random.
Most importantly to me, this ties in their team fight. I really was curious what type of hero would tie in their team fight together. They needed something with a disable. Death Prophet provides the silence for it. They needed something with that can frontline for them, so that Troll can find a good opportunity to jump. Death Prophet does that. It's a hero that we haven't seen as much, but is definitely underrated right now.
And it ties in their team fight, and now they have like the double save as well for themselves. They have the Venge, they have the Wyvern, so if there is any like focused damage onto the Death Prophet, they have ways to like try to save him in a way.
So Arc Warden for OG, where they've played this 3 times at Kiev, imagine, not won with it once. But they keep going back for it, so they know something.
Very strong hero though, and it gives them a lot of. Now they actually have like this burst potential versus Death Prophet when you have these like double saves from like the Wyvern and from the Venge. Now they have something that can actually maybe even try to bring him down quickly with that Arc Warden. Okay, let's go through predictions. Conrad, we'll start with you.
This one's a tough one for me.
Very.
I really like that last pick from Team Random. I think I'm going to go Team Random for this one. Everything that Curtis mentioned just really ticked something in my brain, and now it really makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
I'll go Team Random. I really like Death Prophet pick. Honestly, I think OG will win the game, but I like Random's draft more, and I really want them to win.
Hey, look at
you won a third game.
And look at that.
Oh, look at that! They've already picked Fogs. Thanks, Fogs. Right then, let's get back downstairs to our commentary team who are ready and waiting to bring you game number 2 between OG and Team Random.
As always, with Team Random, the draft holds plenty of twists and turns, and this one is no different. A last pick Death Prophet Purge, and OG, the last pick Arc Warden. How are you feeling about this draft?
It was pretty weird watching it progress, right? Like, nobody's opening Vengeful Spirit right now. That seemed kind of out of nowhere, but it maybe made some more sense with the Bat Rider pick. They grab the hero that counters the hero they're about to pick, and then the Wyvern, another weird pick. But finally, with the DP, it made a lot of sense. 2 heroes that can save somebody. They get some really good team fight potential. It's very similar to a Secret Draft, I believe, that we saw earlier. Wyvern with DP, because you combo so well with her. Keep her alive, let her ult do damage. But the part I really liked was Winter's Curse into silence. It's the most obvious silence ever. It's in some ways like 8 seconds to disable if they don't have silence solutions. And that's going to be the case for the first 15 minutes. So it's going to be a fun game to watch.
Absolutely. The last pick, Arc Warden, is something else that I want to talk about from OG, simply because I don't know how you feel about it, Perch, but I feel like OG, they're the only team who's really consistently picking up Arc Warden in these officials. I don't feel like it's really been tested. You know, like I don't feel like I've felt the Arc Warden truly proven to be a strong hero.
Yeah,
you know, like
I
that's
agree.
worthy the last pick.
Yeah, I think they're out of the 3 games that I watched him play. One of the games I was okay. He's a good hero, but past that, he has some issues. It's pretty clear. I think he's not very good at the laning stage. If he's losing, he seems very weak. If there's a team fight situation and he's not defensive in the back, he seems bad. But the thing he's very, very good at, which seems to be the reason teams pick him, is magnetic field. It's like, oh, they're pushing, I'll drop the magnetic field, drop my ulti, use another magnetic field. It makes it so hard for your opponents to actually close the game out. And for that reason, this is a really good pick against the Troll Warlord, against a Death Prophet. That's 2 heroes that do right-click based damage to kill a building.
Yeah, let's talk about that, right? The ghosts are not going to be hitting the tower Unless Death Prophet's inside the bubble, is that where we're presuming?
I do not know, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know
think
either.
That's how it works. We will find out.
I mean, you have to say, it's a last pick Arc Warden against the Death Prophet. I feel like that's kind of what OG are going for here. After all, Wings are showing us, or excuse me, Team Random are showing us a very heavy mid-game push, and OG just want to prolong the game, presumably, right? Like, and that's what truly Arc Warden's good at. He's good at late game, and he's really good at just prolonging games and protecting high ground.
That's very interesting. Faith Beyond didn't go for the first wave. He's going to wait for the second one instead. But I guess there's a much better chance of not dying this way, because if they actually had like Flux or something and they spotted him, it would be a lot easier to get the kill. So the ideal would be do this pull. In the meantime, that prevents Fly from stacking. I don't know if he's going to react or not here. We'll see. But he may just attack twice and go stack. Stacking is so much more important. So I kind of feel like Faith Beyond maybe should stick around and prevent the stack. But
yeah, I feel it's not very often that you get a chance to stack that easy camp. So
it's
being able to get this one is big.
The 1 minute timing is like the most important time for supports in the game right now, because the camp, if you don't stack it there, it doesn't stack until 3 minutes. So it kills a lot of your ability to actually deal with the offlaner getting experience.
S4, 2 HP, Jesus. Poor man shield doing its work. And he does have the back of the Tusk, so it looks like they're just going to go ahead and pop the Shrine. They've got a big wave pushing in. Both of these heroes would love to have their level 2. So with this wave pushing in, hopefully they'll be able to get it.
Great Ice Shards from Tusk as well to guarantee the creeps stay around. They'll give S4 guaranteed level 2. Surely will help a little, keeping him alive. And Fly doing his best to mess up Faith Beyond's life as well, just zoning, diving under the tower a bit.
And here comes the Drunken Ace. Shadow doesn't have anything to be able to deal with that, so that lessens the harassment onto S4, as well as his own CSing abilities.
Yeah, it's actually super value. I don't remember this being 25 mana, but 25 mana is almost nothing.
Yeah, it really is.
It only lasts for 4 seconds, which is probably why it got reduced, but certainly is going to be a great way to stop Shadow from getting every last hit.
Meanwhile, our mid lane, we do have Blink's Death Prophet facing up against Hannah's Notorious Ember Spirit. We are getting into the first 2 levels difficult for the Ember Spirit because of the fact that Spirit Siphon can just so easily kill your Flame Guard. A little bit later on, though, 200 magic absorptions. Things should start getting a little bit easier for Anna, but how do you think the rest of this laning phase kind of pays out?
I think it's all based on the supports. The last time we saw it, the Death Prophet was actually pressured a lot, but they're going to do that here. They've got Orb of Venom as well.
They immediately back out as soon as they see that TP in from Ice. After all, he is level 2. They're not sure if he does have a level Cold Embrace. Fly's actually dropping a bit low here. They do have another nuke coming in, but Crypt Swarm not going to be there in time to finish him off. That does leave Faith Beyond in a 1v1 at the top lane, though, so that rotation failing on the Death Prophet does offer a lot for Team Random in this laning phase. Bat Rider will certainly be one of the better offlane heroes to pressure a safe laner, but can Arc Warden really be pressured, even by a Bat Rider?
I think he absolutely can. I mean, I guess if you get Flux, there's no way that Bat Rider will be able to commit and get the kill, but at the very least, messing up the creep equilibrium. As a ranged hero with low armor, Arc Warden is actually very vulnerable to getting dived on under tower by creeps. So even if Bat Rider simply just pulls his creep waves to the side and makes No-Tail tank creeps under the tower, that could add up really fast. All comes down to the Midas timing, though. The faster he gets the Midas, the better. So maybe it'd be really good for Random to actually do some kind of early rotation with Vengeful Spirit and the Winter Wyvern, but that doesn't sound super likely to me. So maybe just play standard and let him get his full acceleration.
Winter Wyvern, Ice kind of chilling out here in the top lane. Looks like he's going to maybe push back the support, see if they can get a hard camp pull. Fly, not going to be able to intercept it, but the Tusk will. Another great use of the Ice Shards from Jerax.
That was so well done, and it guarantees that he gets the bounty rune, so denies the pull, which means that No-Tail's safe, which means that the supports also get the bounties. He's been using that skill really well for that purpose.
There is a, I would say, decent advantage to playing the Dire side Tusk. Being able to play this cliff area, Snowball actually has some decent range. I feel like your opportunities for initiation, Tusk Dire side against the Radiant mid is a lot better, but he's not going to be able to see a window here just yet.
And he can also get to the offlane a lot easier as well. Like if you're trying to roll into OG, you'd probably have to be on the left side. If you're on the right side, it's a much harder angle to hit, which would give you the offlane access. So yeah, I definitely agree. Dire side Tusk a little bit better. They're maybe hoping to get a kill here on S4, but it's going to be tough. Even if they do close the gap a bit, he will be able to slow attack speed with Thunderclap too.
Here comes the Drunken Haze, so all that right-click damage should be pretty ineffective.
70% mischance. That's a lot. Keeps putting the slow on Shadow, but he's going to be pressured again.
Oh, and that miss percentage is going to wear out here, but they do have Jarex. So Team Random not feeling comfortable with it. There is a big opportunity for heal bomb potentially from Fly.
Oh, he's on
They're
cooldown.
going to go wide. Why? Snowball out. They're going to be able to finish him off. That's going to be your first blood, but they may just lose S4. Drunken Haze out. S4 still ends up going down. So it trades a support for a core, but it is OG picking up that coveted first blood.
I did not see when the first heal came out, but he did not have that one TP, and I'm sitting there waiting for the damage. And also when the snowball broke as well, the heal was used when the heroes split up a little bit, so they didn't quite get the amazing trade they wanted, but that was still very good considering S4 looked quite dead.
And Faith Beyond is getting a lot of solo time here, and he's already got 1,000 gold in the bank with the boots, regular boots picked up. You said they might rotate in. They've already moved Ice up here once, and now they're actually going to have Y himself show up with a hard stun. They might just be able to catch No Tail here. They got a couple of stacks of sticky napalm, get a stun. That's enough time for maybe the Firefly to close that distance before the Flux is used.
Arc Warden has a huge strength gain though, and he's got 13 stick charges as well, so they're going to have to do a lot of damage. It's going to take a lot of Bat Riders standing on top of Arc Warden. Here they're going for it.
They're going to try. Meanwhile, bottom lane, they do manage to catch Ice back over the top. No Tail being run down, does use those charges, but it's not going to be enough. There is no TPs in from the two supports of OG. They did make their rotation upwards and almost caught Y in the process, but an Ice Shards this time not quite locking it down.
The Wave of Terror just makes the right clicks do so much damage there, and despite using Flux and Spark Wraith, it's big overkill. The fast level 5 as well, the Flame Break does 4 burn duration with like 3 or 4 sticky napalm stacks. That's like 400 magic damage with 1 skill point. It's pretty insane.
Are we saying Faith Beyond, is you just like rushing towards the Blink Dagger, or what is this build that he's going?
I think he might as well, because he's got like the best start ever for a Bat Rider, right? It's way better than you normally expect, and with this double stack, he got pretty lucky too. Satyrs and 1 center camp only, these are all very vulnerable to magic damage, so yeah. I think he just rushes the Blink and makes the game happen, because on OG's side, despite the Arc Warden kill there, he's also maybe not going to get a fast Midas. He's actually going to finish Aquila first, so I think just set the tempo ahead. I think that's the better thing to do here. Oh, Jarek's perfect time to be here, though.
Collecting a lot of that experience. He's going to step down to see if he can take some of that hard camp. Yeah. See if he uses the Ice Shards to be able to clean up some of the last hits here. They're all pretty low. Jarex holding it for now. And Faith Beyond is going to get most of these last hits, it looks like. Now Y is going to be here. Jarex starts running himself away. Nice Ice Shards once again. He knew he was going to be caught by the sticky napalm slow.
That's entirely why he saved that skill. He didn't want a chance getting the last hit and getting chased down all the way. A little greedy from him, but that was actually so amazing. He got a full level, and Bat Rider got 1 less level as well.
So it looks like the lane plays out pretty well for Death Prophet. Currently sitting 51-13 bottom lane. They're going to go on S4 using the extra attack speed, but again, the Drunken Haze proves to be problematic when they go for this kill.
And he picks up a magic wand, so just simple 4-man shield, Iron Talon, Brown Boots, Brewmaster. The hero doesn't need as many items as he did in the past. The big thing is level 10, fast mana regen perk. But his experience gain has been fantastic. I do agree that Death Prophet's had a great lane, though. Certainly a good advantage against the Ember Spirit, hitting about 20 last hits more, and now he's going for a rotation. Treads, double null, and he's got a lot of good skills leveled up heavily.
And this looks good, because Ice is kind of baiting it right now. He's kind of showing like, oh, I'm just a support trying to slow down your push. But OG maybe caught the Spark Wraith that's already gone out, so it looks like OG do have the warning bells that his gank is coming, but they may not be fast enough. Unfortunately, the pushback from the Flame Break is going to increase the distance slightly, but they are going to catch up to No Tail eventually, maybe catch him out the Shell Grave, buys him a little bit of time, but it looks like Blink is going to be able to lock it down with the Spirit Siphon, or not, gets the TP out. OG, maybe they're going to lose S4 instead. S4 not quite level 6. They're going to go for a snowball save, pushing in deeper. S4 gets whatever damage he can. Managed to finish off the Venture Spirit. Now that puts Blink low. They jump in, but there's the heal from the Winter Wyvern. And now that ultimate, it's going to be wearing out soon,
mana.
but not soon enough. It looks like Anna is actually maybe going to go down. He does have a remnant to jump to, but doesn't even have the mana to jump to it. So Team Random get 2 core kills out of that. Maybe they didn't go no tail, but it was well worth the rotation for Team Random. Maybe a third. Jarex gets bumped back. There's a snowball over the creeps. Fly's going to have to save it with a heal, but there's a second Firefly out.
Oh.
And it's actually the nuke from Ice Ice that finished the kill.
So rather than going for the Blink Dagger, he just bought a really early drum, used 2 charges in that fight, but completely worth it for all those kills against OG. I think the Ember Spirit rotation was great as well, but they ran out of mana. If he had a Magic Wand, maybe that fight could have continued. Maybe they kill Death Prophet. Maybe they get another support kill and no one else dies, but really good pressure there from Team Random.
Yeah, I was kind of worried that and maybe we'll still see it, but the Ember Spirit's burst magic damage is going to be such a big threat for DP because they can't depend on that Winter Wyvern. But we're seeing, at least through the first start of these team fights, it's just not being enough. And the Death Prophet is able to just kind of persevere. And speaking of that, we are going to have a Eul's Scepter picked up next, and you said that's going to be the way to deal with that, right?
Yeah, exactly. Whenever the expected burst comes in, just throw yourself up in the air. That could be Snowball coming in. That could be a Brewmaster going for a Thunderclap into an ulti. There's a lot of things he can save himself from. So OG's got to take slightly better fights in the next engagements, if possible. That one was very much a defensive thing. They saved the Arc Warden at least. That's huge.
Look at bottom. Faith Beyond is playing just outside of the vision for the most part. And as Troll starts pushing forward, though, he's backing away. Maybe he should have stuck around because there is a 4-man smoke gate coming out from OG. They want to catch this Troll nice and early.
He's
it looks like they've got him. So slow down. Double nukes. They do have TPs coming in from the Death Prophet, so maybe there can be an opportunity for a turnaround, or maybe it's just an extra kill. Blink, blown up, almost. Ember Spirit tries to get the damage out. They finish him off. Random did not have the support in time. Now it's just going to be cleanup time. They're going to be able to get at least Y, if not more. Ice Ice does have the ultimate, though. Throws it on the Fly. Fly taking a lot of damage from the Brewmaster. It's going to be Y to finish him off with Magic Missile. Jarex, meanwhile, jumps forward. Manages to catch Ice Ice with a snowball. Knocks him up in the air with the Walrus Punch, but there is no follow-up from OG. They've already gotten enough kills out of this fight anyway.
And this is one of the better rotations I've ever seen from an Arc Warden. He doesn't have his Midas yet, but this hero actually does insane amounts of magic damage in the early game. Especially if he duplicates, he can drop Spark Wraiths for 280 damage every 4 seconds from his 2 sources, and even Flex by itself is good. 2 right clicks and on top of that. So just by finding the Death Prophet kill after the Troll, it opened up the game so much for OG. Like there's not good reaction to that if the Arc Warden is there. But I don't even think they saw him. He was kind of lagging in the back. He did throw down a Spark Wraith, but they weren't expecting that insane disable and that insane magic damage output.
All right, we have the rotation from Random up top, then OG down to bottom. This time it's going to be Random with a smoke gate into the enemy jungle here, and they're going to find No Tail right in the perfect time. Look at it, he's 20 gold away. No Tail's like, no, please, desperately let me get at least a creep, but it's not going to happen. Loses the 200 gold. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Shadow's going to die again, so at least there is some sort of balance to this game of OG Wings. 7-7.
That Midas delay is very painful. And he fed his Tempest double as well. That's a lot of golden experience. I think it's like 180 right now. Does miss the flame break on S4. Playing around a little bit, but we'll see things go a little static here, I expect. Death Prophet surprisingly doing some aggro Ancients here. Kind of interesting, but I think it's because he used Exorcism on the Tempest double in the first place. So. The Arc Warden, that is.
Might as well put some use to that ultimate.
So OG does get a tower out of this. So when you gank the jungle, it's kind of hard to turn it into a tower instantly. Random turned it into an Ancient Destruction because they were there already. But that's a tower advantage, which means now it's a little harder for Troll to farm. He's very good at jungling, though, especially with Vlad, so he'll be fine. But certainly it'll be easier for OG to find the right places to gank, and maybe a bit more obvious when Random isn't in aggressive position or sitting in their lanes.
And it also means our Blink Dagger is going to be coming in pretty soon for S4. He's currently trying to beat out Faith Beyond's Blink Dagger, which is what he's going after, the Drums of Endurance. Both sitting at a similar amount of gold here. OG checking out the Roshan pit, making sure they hear the Troll ultimate. They wanted to make sure he wasn't actually sneaking inside the pit. That is one of the dangers, right? There's a lot of comparisons to be made between Troll and Ursa. And obviously the biggest comparison is they're both able to do Roshan very early on.
Yeah, especially with the Venge on the backside with a medallion. He doesn't have it yet, but or somebody has it queued
Wyvern
up. Wyvern? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's finished already? That's really early. So if they ever do win a team fight against OG, that's probably where they're going to go right after. With that said, though, OG does have another Arcane Rune on Ember Spirit. This is one of the best things you can have in the early game, just because he has some mana problems, and lowering the recharge of Fire Remnants and Searing Chains and all that stuff is really effective. And that's who they're going to go in on.
Wall out. Blink definitely has some protection there. What a beautiful Winter's Curse onto Jarex. They're going to set all this up. So they're going to finish off Jarex. Doesn't look like they had the opportunity to push for more, but a free pickoff there for Team Random. More time for Shadow to push out top, though. He's actually backing away from that. Perhaps afraid of a rotation from OG.
Winter's Curse has been really effective this game. I've never seen so many impactful Winter's Curses the first 15 minutes, but they've been very well used. Medallion making that better as well. Throw it on the guy that's getting it auto-attacked, and he'll die faster. Interesting choice. Oh, he's going Necro 3 build on Arc Warden. I haven't seen this in so long. It's a lot worse than it was originally. When Arc Warden first came out, you'd make a Tempest double, he'd get Necro 3 whenever he summons. Each Arc Warden Tempest double would have its own cooldowns, but now it's based on the same for each Tempest double. So spawn your Tempest double, he gets a Midas, it's not off cooldown 60 seconds later. You still have to wait the full 100. So Necro's scene is worse right now. So I'm excited to see if No-Tail can make something amazing happen. He also went Arcane Boots, which is a bit interesting, but considering that it's technically 2, this could really help his team get a lot more mana and himself.
Do you think it's because of the read? Like, Team Random have a very 5-man focused lineup, right? Batrider seeks out the extra pickoff. They have the Death Prophet team fight ultimate that they want to base themselves around, and Troll is going to be able to help push down those towers. It seems like there is going to be a lot of opportunities for split pushing. Faith Beyond currently scouting here. He's going to jump forward. Will manage to grab fly. That's a big one. They can actually finish him off. Meanwhile, the Brewmaster initiation comes out, unable to get the silence fast enough, but they do have the swap out to be able to buy Blink some time, and his ultimate is doing a lot of work. OG are low on all sides. Fly in the back, almost taken out. They do have another great Winter's Curse for the Shallow Grave. Will manage to save Jarex just in time. Big jump in from Anna. Tries to get the burst damage, but now he's silenced up, and he's just going to die to Shadow. Jarex jumps forward, trying to finish off Blink, but it's not quite enough. Blink with the Gold Scepter is able to defend himself. Now it's going to be Fly. Food for fodder as Shadow managed to pick up another kill, looks for the wipe as No-Tail is going to be the final man down of OG, and Team Random take a big fight in the mid lane, trading 1 for 5. Gonna take that mid tower, and who knows what else from there.
Amazing fight for Team Random. OG felt they had some moments where they could go in, and they kept getting heroes really low, but it's so dangerous for them actually to commit to those sometimes. And this is almost for sure going to guarantee... No, never mind. They're all alive. It'll be fine. But taking the tier 1 tower there is huge, and OG getting a little too overconfident on the Venge kills a few times there.
Another bad team fight like that, or even a pickoff, is actually going to lead into any kind of Roche opportunity.
No, the opening was so good, but the swap absolutely helped save the DP. She's still doing tons of damage in the backline. The Fire Panda goes down. They really wanted to kill Innocence, and great Winter's Curse, but an amazing Grave in response. But at this point, OG is all playing with low HP. It's way too dangerous here. No-Tail
did catch here, but Ice Eyes just ahead of the Ice Shards. And he had Arctic Burn up anyway, so he could have just flew right over that one.
But the OG lineup, they're definitely going to run into some big damage issues pretty soon here. I think the reason he's going Necro 3s is because of the large one. If it gets blown up, it does a lot of pure damage. And that's going to be a really good counter, actually, against the Death Prophet, because she can't stop her little bats from attacking.
We have 4-man smoke up.
That's
Catches S4. Easy kill on the Brewmaster. And this pickoff could lead to more, actually. Why? Might be able to find Fly here.
It's got no way.
They're going to chase him down to the tower, surely. Yep. There goes the swap back. Gets out the weave, but it is a death weave for Fly. And a tier 1 tower down once again.
I feel like if OG was able to win that team fight in the mid that they lost previously, this whole game would have changed. But Random is just rolling over OG at the moment, and they don't have very good heroes for stopping that. They don't have like they're basically their melee frontliner that's supposed to jump in, be survivable, and keep messing with them is Brewmaster. And outside of that, they don't have much. And Ember Spirit, I don't think is going to be that hero this game either. Troll is really scary. They have to worry about Batrider last, so they have to worry about Venge, Stun Swap, and of course the big damage output. It's Death Prophet. So I think this last pick, Death Prophet, was really good for this lineup. Hard to kill him. He's got backup, and he does so much damage.
Boy, they're actually getting a ton of farm on Ice Ice. He got that early medallion. Because of the kills offered to him from Winter's Curse, he's going to have a Blink Dagger pretty soon. He's about 1,000 gold away from that one. That'll mean even better better initiation for Team Random. Initially, they're just playing completely off of the Batrider, but now we could have excellent initiation from the Winter Wyvern as well. As you said, that all sets up into the Death Prophet Silence, and right now, and probably in the future, there's not going to be too many ways that OG can deal with that. We need to have like Yule Scepters on Brewmaster and Ember Spirit just to be able to deal with that one silence.
Even killing Death Prophet looks tough right now. Very efficient item build. He's just going all for survivability. Even grabs a magic resistance perk at 10. Most likely will pass up the hood that we've seen some other players grab. But between like Yule's Solar Crest and just generally high HP, it's hard for OG to kill this guy.
12% magic resistance plus a Solar Crest. I love that.
Plus healing.
Yeah, I love that Solar Crest has just become like a nice efficient stat item. Yeah, who necessarily needs to be using it?
It's actually pretty disgusting. It's only 2,600 gold, considering it gives you 12 armor and 25% evasion. And if he really wants to use this aggressively, it's great. It works very well with Exorcism, Amplify.
Okay, so OG, whenever I've seen these kind of like split push lineups, too many times, we see like, for example, they're Naga Siren. They love to be able to try and make a team fight happen 12, 15 minutes before they get into their full split push category. This time around, they tried it. It failed pretty badly. Surely this is when OG bounces back and just tries to play a split push game against Team Random's 5-man.
I think it's possible. They can kind of still take fights, but yeah, 5 versus 5 is really terrifying right now. So commit to the split push if you can.
That is going to be Ember Spirit managing to jump away. They didn't get a bash from the troll. So Anna, being the lucky man, will get back to his shrine, heal up.
So
OG.
So maybe one of the big losses here is that they don't have good disable follow-up from the lasso. It's basically Venge Stun or Troll Bash, or the bigger, easier one is probably Death Prophet Silence, at least right now. But she did offer Treads this game. Boots of Travel would have been amazing for this kind of setup situation, but wasn't able to get in there fast enough. So those kind of losses are actually huge. That's maybe a big lacking here to Random. I felt like they're going to be able to deal with the split push well, but if they don't have the lockdown, Ember Spirit hitting buildings is definitely the safest way.
Yeah. And then once you start having successful split pushing from OG, especially now that we have that Necronomicon, you start forcing Team Random to split up a little bit more. That's when the team fights can really come to the favor of OG, right?
Yeah,
Instead
exactly.
of split, occasionally they could just like boom, group up and hit Team Random hard. So Random, even though they had an incredible start, still have a lot of issues to address as we start hitting into the mid game. Plenty of opportunities for OG to make the comeback if Team Random aren't careful.
And they're going to play. He's just summoning a lot of Necros. He's just trying to increase his farm speed with these. They're definitely good at that, but it's still a pretty big cooldown. Approaching Necro 2, Necro 3. So what is the magic damage? It's okay, it does magic actually on Necro. I forgot it's not pure anymore. So it does 800 magic damage when it dies, which means that Death Prophet actually does have good solutions against it. He can just build maybe a Pipe Blader, or a BKB would also stop it if I'm not mistaken. Unless it is coded to go through. I think they'll die. Can't check. Check later.
Roshan attempt here from Shadow. No Tail spotting it out with his Tempest double. It's going to die though, and that really kills the team fight power of OG. Seems pretty clear to Team Random. They know OG can't actually fight this one, so Faith Beyond. He gets out there, manages to find the pickoff onto No Tail. A big kill, because we talked about how that magnetic field, that bubble, stops a lot of these pushes. No Tail's got to be option number one to be able to kill the high ground defense or kill the defense of these tier 2s and push objectives.
Man, that was a big pickoff. No Tail making a large mistake with the Batrider grabbing him. And he's not going to be mobile this game. He's not going to have invisibility. I mean, Necro's very, very cool on paper. Maybe it was the right choice this game, but I can't help but think that he just started off a little too slow. The delay of the Midas cost so much, and maybe the support should have spent more time there. But with that said, this is a tier 3 tower taking damage.
Yeah,
what the heck?
Team Random didn't address that one very quickly. 1.5 HP, that was, I feel like that wasn't actually fully worth it, tier 2 tower, because you know the split push is already going to be a problem from OG, so you can't afford to have some of your fortifications like that already being, dropped down this low.
Yeah, completely agree. I mean, it's still more map control, but considering your opponents are going to have more boots of travel than you, I don't know. Maybe it's tough. Tough to deal with that. That tower does go down, that would be insane. I mean, they haven't even lost the mid tower. The tier 3 has taken more than the mid tower has almost. Very close.
All right, we got a gem. I really like this pickup. An early gem from Team Random will make because they do have the potential catch, right?
Yeah.
With this Bat Rider against some of these heroes. So we do have the potential for Team Random to punish some of these split pushers, particularly the Ember Spirit. All they have to do is just kill a lot of the aggressive vision of OG. So that early gem is going to play off some pretty big dividends. I assume OG did try and look like they were trying to go for some sort of smoke rotation, maybe pick off at mid that allows them to take that tier 1 tower. While Anna continues his march into the tier 3.
Pushing pretty fast despite his items. Just Maelstrom alone is going to get creeps up on the high ground to do more damage.
Or chip. Random, they seem like really focused on making sure a bad team fight doesn't happen, staying 5-man quite a lot, which is opening up these huge opportunities for Anna.
Trying to keep that Tempest double alive while he split pushes, and great, even more tower damage here.
Oh, he doesn't get the gold for it either.
Very close. So Shadow pressuring the tier 2 still. This should still fall. No way they defend this, but they are inching their way towards shrine kills even before Random can think about it. With that said, even if they do get the tier 3, I do feel like Random's getting pretty close to just going high ground. But
yeah,
the issue is going to be pushing the lanes out first and then having an opportunity to do that. And there's a long, long time until Roche is ready. So maybe Random can, in this time period, utilize the Aegis.
Yeah, this definitely says to me like the way the team, this wasn't a mistake, right? Like it's not like they made the same mistake 2 times in a row, right? So
yep.
It's very clear Team Random are doing this on purpose. They really want to make sure they stick together, they don't have a bad team fight, and will go ahead and concede a little bit of tier 3 damage whenever they're going for these tier 2 pushes. That for me says Team Random are much more focused on, hey, we're going to end the game soon. You know, we're going to go for that high ground. This game's going to reach a crescendo real fast where Team Random either successfully push high ground, in which case the tier 3 going down doesn't matter, or they stall out. OG take that tier 3, they unlock shrines, and we can play this, you know, this harder rat game that Team Random may never be able to come back from. Looks like a pickoff on Jarek's here. He's been playing pretty aggressive with that haste rune, and will meet an unfortunate fate.
Shadow with the Shadow Blade, picked up instantly, gets the kill. And I really like this item choice because it's going to allow him to counter the split push and, more importantly, help get his own solo kills as the game continues, just because OG is always going to be split pushing. If they always have to worry about trolls showing up and doing a crap load of physical damage any second, then they're going to be a lot less willing to push the lanes out aggressively and make sure that Random can't go high ground.
Yeah, so. Even Ember Spirit, when he picks up his Lincolns, right, he's like, oh, I dealt with the Bat Rider a bit now, right?
Yep.
But Troll, who knows? Maybe Shadow Blade's on you and gets a first hit, or maybe even a second hit bash. That's enough to lock you down long enough to kill you from 100 to 0.
And Ember still doesn't have silence solutions, too. The Lincolns will stop Lasso and Winter's Curse and Swap, but if they maybe do, I guess they can't do Yules into silence at least, because that would be blocked. But if the DP is just in the area as the Troll shows up, silence and right clicks, that's all it'll take, and it will go down.
Oh, look at this Shadow Blade. Shadow, he's on it.
He knew.
He's gonna find Andy. Is he gonna be able to get that bash? First hit, second hit, no luck, no love.
Still had his remnant up from before, but he choreographed that TP, and as a result, Anna's farm decreases a little bit.
We are really seeing Team Random do an excellent job controlling the map now. Now that they have that additional threat for Ember Spirit with that Shadow Blade revealed.
Yeah.
Oh, Faithion actually completes that Boots of Travel, goes for no tail, pulls him right back in, and they're going to try and blow him up. Nice use of Winter's Curse to be able to prevent the Shallow Grave. Now they'll go ahead and turn their attention towards Fly. He used the Shallow Grave, goes for a TP, but it will not work. So, nice fast play there from Team Random controlling the map. They're actually going to go for mid here real quickly. Anna actually controls him up. Shadow in some trouble, but Y's going to be able to bail him out. Swap back. Enough time for Shadow to be able to use the BKB, so he mans up against S4, forcing out the ultimate. BKB is going to wear out soon. S4 thinking of following him out, at least with some of the damage pandas. He's going to make the stone form, the Earth Panda, run himself away. Random are going to try and catch up with it, though. 5 seconds till he drops.
He's got to get the blink off. It's the only way.
The Firefly's going to be on top of him if he's not careful. Here comes the blink. Oh, no, there's too much damage over the place. Y uses Wave of Terror as well as Shadow blinking in and managed to get that Whirling Axes at the same time.
I don't even know if S4 is expecting to get caught there, because the Invis Troll or jumping out with the Whirling Axes, as soon as you appear there, you're going to get hit by those things. Unless it bugs. It does that sometimes. But ends up getting another kill against OG, and it just feels like they have very little way to control the map now. All it took was a Shadow Blade and a little bit of careful movement prediction where their opponents are going to be, and the farm levels just drop off pretty drastically.
we're probably still going to reach that, that high ground push that's coming in, but maybe we're a little bit wrong in that analysis earlier where, like, Team Random, they actually were kind of sacrificing that Tier 3, but now they're controlling the map so much that that sliver of HP that the Tier 3 has, it's not even, like, they're just not getting up any of the side lane momentum, right? It's always being countered now. Now that Team Random has some of those items. Nice, breaking the link. It's now jump in with the lasso and the damage coming out from Shadow. They'll make short work of the Ember Spirit, and now this is their opening. In fact, No Tail, ooh, thank goodness that Shards was there from Jerax. Otherwise, No Tail could have been caught as well.
That's so bad to be this far behind on Ember when Bat has a Force Staff at the same time you finish your Lincolns. Yeah. Doesn't even matter if you had that. This guy's going to check your items. He's going to know what you're building anyways. And they just instantly counter him.
They still have the swap back of the Vengeful Spirit too, so this 40-second window that Team Random have, a lot can be done, a lot can be forced in it. Blink immediately put himself inside the medic field. Another one goes out.
I think it's getting hit. The bats are hitting it.
Oh, it is. So those bats don't give a damn about a bubble.
I'm a little, I don't know how it's coded, but it works. So even if OG was doing better, maybe it's still countered.
Tier 3 going to drop fast. They're immediately going to go for the melee racks. They still got 10 more seconds. Anna down, unable to fight, and this should mean, or maybe not,
okay.
Team Random are going to respect it.
All right, that one's working. It's just placement based, I think. It has to be, because when the bats go into melee, they're like a short range melee creature, I'm assuming. So if you place it a little bit too close, it needs to be over the circle of the barracks, which might be the very center point, but you can't put it any farther out, because then the bat will be inside the bubble when it attacks.
Yeah, when it swoops in to grab that tower, then it actually gets inside that bubble.
Who knew? I think that's how it works. I'm not 100%, but that's what it looked like. So S4 is going to try to get a good initiation here with Brewmaster. They need to catch somebody.
Shadow is going to pop that smoke from OG.
The nighttime smoke is so hard to make it effective because of moments like that. He just assumed that there was a hero. He just couldn't see him.
And we're actually going to be getting an Orchid Bloodthorn for Troll Warlord. So that'll be another potential way for him to be able to catch the Ember Spirit, perhaps.
Or any other hero. Actually, it's probably the Brewmaster. If he finds Brewmaster solo, easiest kill ever.
Anna, mid to disable onto Blink. They'll Ice Shard him as well, but Blink is not too scared of a fight right now. Tries to loop himself away. Does have some additional help from Random. If they really commit to this one, Ice can intercept. They're going to pop that ultimate from S4. There goes a Cold Embrace. Healing Blink up, but they are going to have immediate follow-up damage. There goes the swap. Snowball back the line. Jerax is in deep. It's going to be wide. Giving up his life for that one. Winter's Curse on the Anna is going to stall him up, but he's inside the Manic field with no allies around. Shadow is dealing with these nasty Brewlings at the same time, while Blink is being healed up from the Cold Embrace once again. They try and jump onto him. Snowball, nice use of the Force Staff there, but they slow him down. Ice Shard's blocking in some of these heroes as well. X4 jumps in. They get silenced, but they're actually winning this fight. OG slowly but surely are winning this out, unless Shadow, if they can actually kill No Tail here. No Tail's low. Shadow Grave, and he's going to be able to get out. Yes, he is. He completes the TP. Shadow doesn't get a bash again. Never lucky, but Team Random are still going to run over Anna, looks like. They'll get that kill as well as the Tusk.
I can't even believe they only lost 2 heroes there.
I know.
The amount of time that they kept Death Prophet alive was insane. Winter Wyvern also managed to, at the very start of the fight, not only Cold Embrace the Death Prophet, but also blink dodge the initial boulder from S4. I thought for sure S4 was going to be able to keep Ice out of the fight, but he didn't at all. It almost felt like the Brewmaster ulti did nothing, but if he gets a Cyclone off on the Winter Wyvern, the whole fight changes. Because he was able to heal like 24% of Death Prophet's HP 3 times in that. That's like a cheese practically. And if that guy's that hard to kill with only 2,000 HP, it's only going to get worse when he finishes Octarine and maybe a tanky item afterwards.
And Aegis for the Troll Warlord. You're looking at him, and it's hard to see how exactly OG are going to be able to stop him if he just goes BKB high ground and starts hitting on a building. So for me, that kind of says OG have to find a way to force the fight outside of the base.
Yeah, which is exactly what they tried to do there. They were just a little too low on the damage. Incredible that they weren't able to manage it there, but it's going to get even harder with them. With Team Random winning that fight, they're going to get more farm, they're going to get more items, and OG's got to get a way to kill opponents soon. Mjolnir's going to be the pickup for Arc Warden. Maybe that'll work well because they'll do a lot of magic damage that jumps through the Cold Embrace, but I'm not even sure. He's really fast right now, too. Picks up the plus 50 movement speed perk on Death Prophet. He's running at 445 movement speed at all times.
That'll be nice way to be able to deal with some of these. They got a lot of slows on the side of OG, and as well as that chase down of the snowballs. So it feels like movement speed is actually going to be really effective in this game.
They're definitely having lockdown problems.
Top lane push is coming in fast. OG are trying to push out the bottom lane as much as possible in order to force Team Random back, but it's just not going to happen. Team Random are forcing it at the top lane. They're going to be able to take this full lane, it looks like, as OG are unable to fight in time. Not even being able to threaten the bottom lane. Team Random just set that up too well.
They feel so far ahead. Batrider just goes back, doesn't care. I'll just kill these 2 Necro 3s for 400 gold while my team gets the racks. They're just so far ahead right now. It's kind of the same story as the first game. The last pick really was the right solution. Their opponents didn't have a great pick to deal with it, and it kind of dealt with what the other team wanted to do in the first place. Last game it was the Enigma. This game, very much so the Death Prophet. It fit into the draft so well.
And if Blink gets BKB, then they're going to have 2 cores that are just going to ignore everything that OG are doing because they really don't have much of a source of physical damage. Arc Warden eventually turns into a right-clicker, but for now, he's just got Necronomicon and Maelstrom, so he really doesn't do all that much. Ember Spirit is obviously primarily magic damage at this point in time. Brewmaster, he's the only source of any pittance of physical damage on the side of OG, so these BKBs are just going to overwhelm the Dream Green.
And most of these guys just have medallions and solar crests anyways. I don't even feel like physical's the solution. There's not a lot of solutions here. Troll Warlord even going heavy into tank. He's not getting damage skills. He's just going armor, health, agility. Maybe he even grabs magic resistance at 25.
I was thinking about that.
I don't know.
Why not?
Like 20% is pretty big when you're running around with about 3.5K health late game. Can really pay off.
2 minutes for the Aegis. Team Random. Side lanes have been dealt with. A top lane push doesn't really matter because the tier 2 is still up there. Faithion looking for his opening.
See if he summons a Necro before his little Arc Warden dies. He does.
Pops it.
Whoa.
There he goes. Finds No Tail in the back lines. That's going to be a big one. Fly sitting on the side is going to have to get the Shallow Grave off in time. No Tail does get saved for the time being, but will it really matter? They still have the damage out. The Winter's Curse is even going to hold these heroes in place. So as soon as that wears out, No Tail immediately dies, as well as Jarek's in the back line. S4's Pandas are almost dead. He's going to try and get away with the Earth Panda. It looks like Team Random are actually fully focusing on finishing him off. The 3 members of OG down, a 4th potentially in trouble. Anna jumps back to the base. Doesn't have too many remnants to work with now.
These Necros are just not making the difference in these team fights. If anything, they're helping Team Random because of the Winter's Curse. Plus, maybe a big error there.
Shadow Man's up, has the Aegis still. Wants to be able to put some sort of use to it, so they take it to tier 3 tower, and it's actually been caught by the silence. He's been orged up. That link is broken through. They use the Shallow Grave to be able to protect him. Looks for the Remnant out. He's so low. Can they get any damage out? Jumps over the Remnant. Does manage to get himself away. No Tail back up in 10 seconds. Our Team Random going to continue this fight for round 2. Looks like they are. They're going to go for this melee Rax. And this means OG really have to force this one and actually get something in it. Shadow, they're going to go for him, try and take out that Aegis without any full real commitment. Y jumps pretty low. Maybe No Tail can finish him off, but as Shadow comes back, he pops the BKB, finishes off that melee Rax, and on the way out, a full retreat. And OG don't have too much catch. The Ice Shards misses, and Shadow will continue his run back to the base.
He is so fast, too. Even if they had detection, I don't know if they were going to kill him. Man, OG really just on the back foot this game. It feels like they can't do anything about the first lasso that comes up other than a Grave, but Grave is not the solution they need anymore. They've lost so much advantage ever since they started losing fights in the mid game.
Yeah, because of this, it seems like Team Random are so like the way they chased down S4's Panda.
Yeah.
You know, it was just like, whatever. Like, yeah, do we really need to use this exorcism to finish off the mid lane of Rax, or can we just kill heroes and control the game? Absolutely. After all, they're not dropping off anytime soon. They just picked up some of their, we've had the Troll BKB for a little while, but we have this fresh BKB from Blink, so they've still had a significant... Oh, look at that. Jesus Christ. Poor S4. That's not pretty.
He lost his passive, and he was getting Bloodthorn crit, just automatically.
Oh, they need this kill. They need this real badly. OG, they're going to try and go on a Blink here, but the Winter's Curse turn around, and is actually dropping pretty low here from just the damage from No Tail's Tempest double. And Blink is able to finish him off towards the end. So Team Random now well set up to force the bottom lane out. Jarex is going to just do whatever he can to actually stop the creep wave.
The Shadow's split pushing, taking racks. He's got the range barracks. He's going to go for the third set right now, all while things are busy. Jarex has no TP. He's basically 1v3 right now. Tower's dead.
Courier, pick up that extra just before finishing up the racks. He actually sees the real no-tail here. Wants to be able to finish him off. Doesn't have any vision, though, to be able to see him, so he turns his attention back to that melee racks, which is rapidly falling. Now Blink comes in big, is able to get a silence. Now the follow-up lasso.
He wants
pressure. He's going to get fly as well. Fate Beyond, a little bit of style as we finish off this game number 2. OG call it. Just like that, the series been evened up. Who said Team Random was out of here? They look like they're coming back, man.
They had the very, very tough group stage. A lot of 1-2s, 2-1s. And they're taking it to game 3 again. I mean, that game was just, honestly, the outdraft seemed very clear to me. The Death Prophet just fit so perfectly. That was a super planned strat. They didn't reveal anything for the first 3 picks, yet it's still perfectly synergized with that final Death Prophet pick. Very good with the Troll as well. I'm sure they didn't have to go down that path. But OG also didn't have to pick Arc Warden. I don't think that was the hero. I think the Necro build was kind of a cool idea, but it did not work at all against Winter Wyvern, nor when they were behind like that. I'm just still not sold on that hero right now. Unless at least help your guy get a really fast Midas, maybe even pre-Aquila. That's going to change the game massively if he can get it that early. But almost every single game I see Arc Warden come out, he doesn't get it at a good time. It's always delayed a little bit, gets boots first, gets a wand first, and maybe they should have just sat in their lane more. Give him the early Midas, then let him die once or twice.
OG, Arc Warden picked up once again. Another loss for OG, this time on the main stage. They're going to go back, take a break, and rethink their strategy for game number 3. Is OG going to be eliminated on day number 1 of the Kiev Major? This tournament has plenty of surprises ahead.
Yeah, that would be absolutely insane.
Team Random, Wings, game 3 is coming up. The analysts, this is your time to talk about it.
Thanks very much, Cap and Purge, and it is back to game 3 yet again for Team Random. We said they had it in them. They did it in the group stage, and they've done it again in the round of 16 knockout as well. Let's catch up with our panel members once more and break it down. Firstly, Curtis, what do you make of this crazy team? They seem to be able to bounce back even when they've been stomped in game 1.
I think something that people forget about Team Random is just how good of individual team fighters they are and how good they are at combining their spells into super full team fights. We even saw in the group stage a bit, even if they didn't win the games, they would have these crazy fights, these crazy smokes from behind. And even this one in particular, this was like perfect play. Everyone cast their spells perfectly. We see this Winter's Curse. I don't even know how he saw it. It was just there, but he got it, and it was, I don't know. There's I've always loved Wings, so.
Yeah. The way that they team fought was incredibly impressive. The way that they like collapsed. We did talk about it like when they did draft this kind of lineup is contesting the tier 1s and going for that type of pushing and putting a lot of pressure onto OG's draft because they do have an Arc Warding, they do have Panda. These 2 heroes definitely take like an item or 2 at least to be able to do anything. So the fact that they can just like run at the towers with their item decisions too, with the Vlad's pickup on the Troll, I really like that one. The Treads double null on the Yules into Yules on the Death Prophet. Thought it was just a great way to bring early aggression onto the side of OG.
And the Prophet, a great pick.
Yeah, I mean, it really did well against the Ember mid, and it was the solution that they needed. You know, it goes through the Arc Warden bubble and is able to help them push power even when, you know, most other heroes would have trouble pushing those same towers.
I feel like OG picked this Brewmaster pick because they wanted to say, hey, we have the team fight. This hero gives us a team fight. And in the fights, these Brewmother, I don't know what to call it. Pandas? Broodlings? Broodlings?
No.
Broodlings.
Broodlings.
Sorry, that's what I was
They were afraid to run it. They couldn't stay there and just keep casting spells. And the best way to be a team fight hero, the easiest way to make it useless, is to simply a better team fight in them.
Yeah, just with the double defensive as well. We saw it there. I think that was 2 Cold Embraces coming out from Ice Ice. His positioning in this game was almost impeccable. The Winter's Curses all over the place were great. Look at everybody's health. They're all like sitting, not like super low, but relatively low just because of the way that they were able to prolong the fights and then just reset and just like kind of pull the fight into their into a favorable position for them. Like the Death Prophet gets engaged and gets focused on and then gets swapped, gets Cold Embraced. So many different mechanisms to save him versus OG's lineup.
And likewise, the Prophet was a good pick. The Arc Warden, not so much again, I guess. I mean, it's 4 times now OG have tried this, and it hasn't worked for them.
Yeah.
Why do they keep going back?
I'm not too sure. I think they just in this game I think that they got to a point where they were like, man, we can't like. I guess in the draft, they're like, they picked the Panda for fighting, and then they can't really fight, so they went back for like kind of like splitting kind of thing. I didn't really feel the Arc Warden like almost at all this game. He went for a different type of build too. Saw the Arcane Boots into Necrobook, and I just felt like he couldn't really like do much in the team fights. They were really segregating him though and finding him, so it was really hard for him.
It was a pretty hard Arc Warden game, to be honest.
Yeah.
It was our 10th pick, so that was probably up to Fly and Noto to decide this is the hero I want. But
Yeah.
I don't know how much more you could have done on the hero.
Wasn't a lot more, that's for sure. In terms of the way that Random performed, Conrad, is that what you expected them to do, bounce back in Game 2 after just being dominated in that first game?
I mean, I think we saw glimmers of brilliance in Game 1, especially with the draft and the way they were playing. I think there was a lot of potential for them to bounce back in Game 2, and they bounced back, and they bounced back hard this game.
Yeah, they did.
I think the one stat to me is Faith Beyond 2-0 and 23 on Batrider. I mean, how do you not die with Batrider? he jumps in, and I think that just kind of comes to that team playing together very well, as well as Death Prophet. Like Shadow just gets his farm. Everything about that whole game was just phenomenal from Team Random.
I'm going to take a look at the clip in just a second. The scoreboard obviously showing the route to victory for Team Random. You can see it was an ever-increasing lead all the way through this one. The first clip, Fogg, is 16 minutes in.
Yeah, they did a really good team fight in the mid lane. This is the one that we kind of touched on before, but it was incredibly impressive, their spell usage. Just, again, their warding as well. Don't think we got a chance to touch on that one, but they had pretty good vision in this game too. They put one in the middle of the fight for that one. But Faith Beyond, like Conrad touched on, his initiations were super good. He forced them to kind of like clump in a way after he pulled them in, and then Ice's Winter's Curses were very well used. It's not like you see in a lot of situations.
How did he see that one?
That one,
because there was so much going on in that team fight right then.
The thing is, he was saving his allies, so he had to look at his allies. But he also has the presence of mind to look at his... He's just seeing everything. Usually it's one or the other for me. I can't do that.
Yeah, it was super impressive. MVP? Who do you want to pick out and highlight?
Ice.
Ice probably. Blink also
sure
played incredibly well, but Ice definitely.
Okay, why?
I thought his positioning was incredibly good. It was like every single time he was in like the perfect spot, but also his item decisions I thought were great. The medallion and the Glimmer Cape. I mean, this guy was so farmed, honestly. Like in this game too, he was like almost tied with the Panda at multiple times, or the Brewmaster at multiple points in the game. So
we saw with Ice even when it seemed like OG were making these sick moves. They had this nice rotation down to ball lane. He managed to solo kill the Dazzle out of nowhere, and these type of moves really salvage your team, if not in game, at least to morale. And it really feels like he put his team on the back. He got every save. He had every Winter's Curse. I don't think there was ever a team fight where he didn't get all his spells off.
Yeah. Do you feel like it was a... Sorry, Conrad, we'll come back. Do you feel like it was a genuine, like, we want this pick? Or do you think it was... We were discussing during the draft, weren't we? Is this preemptive? Is this to stop OG going down a particular route? I think they were looking at the Lycan.
I honestly feel like it was a bit of both. I honestly completely forgot how good Winter Wyvern was against Tuskar. Like, we saw Jarex roll into mid with 3 heroes. He just casually Winter's Curses him and Jarex dies.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, Ice is known for his Winter Wyvern. His play on the hero has always been rock solid.
Yeah. Conrad?
I was just going to say his saves, his Winter Curses, his spell usage this game was flawless. And then Yanni's touched on his positioning. You know, he always seemed to be able to... there was a moment where S4 jumped in on him, and he was able to blink out. He just received his Blink Dagger, and then able to just come back, use the Winter Curse, use the saves, and just do all the damage he needed to do. I think clearly the MVP in this match. It's really hard to look that good on Winter Wyvern.
Definitely looked good.
It almost looks like they were like kind of preparing for like the Death Prophet in a way, just because of how good these two heroes, the Venge and the Winter Wyvern with Death Prophet. It's like you look at OG's draft, you look at the first 3 picks, and there's not really any like burst or anything that can kill Death Prophet at all. And then they have the Cold Embrace on top of that. It was just really clever.
And that really does show the mastery of the draft. We had OG in the first game. They banned out the Venge for their last pick. And this game, they're setting up this DP the entire time. And maybe they didn't even know it, but they did it.
Yeah, I don't think they saw that coming, did they? Because they could have banned that out in their 5th ban, but nevertheless didn't. It's now 1-1. We'll look ahead to the third and final draft between this game. But before we get there, why don't we check in with our social media once more? Take some questions from Facebook and from Reddit. Thank you very much to all the questions that have come in so far. The next one is, what is the most impactful talent?
That's hard because
yeah,
they're impactful within the game, right?
60 something odd talents,
and the level 25 ones tend to be, can be very, very strong compared to a lot of the others.
But some of them are also out of reach on certain heroes. It's very rare you get to 25 on a lot of different hero supports, particularly.
I think the one we're seeing a lot is the plus 300 Aphotic Shield. I think that is just so much additional damage that's able to be soaked to that hero, and just. Abaddon is a hero Abaddon, sorry, is one of those heroes that's going to get to 25, especially in those longer games.
What about the Spectre, the 2025? Was it plus 20 strength, 400 health? I think at 25.
I think her health one at 25 is pretty bad. I like the dagger a lot more. I think as far as 25 talents goes, 400 health isn't good. As far as 20 talents goes, 20 strength is amazing. I mean, it's also 400 health, but it's earlier and better.
I really like
almost as identical 2025s, which is a bit weird, but
I really like the +2 refraction. I think that one also is pretty absurd.
Pretty good.
Because it's not like just defensive, it also gives you aggression because you get the plus damage as well, and it lasts for so long when you have 3 charges that you're always able to kind of blink.
I think Queen of Pain's spell steal used to be like outright the best, but they nerfed that a bit with Blade now.
I mean, it's a meme, but it's also pretty good. 420 GPM.
Of course.
I actually think Puck's 420 is like, you're dead and you just see your gold go up, you're like, nice.
Yeah, I've never been so happy being dead as when you're Puck with the 25 talent. You're like, I'm farming so much. I'm rich.
1,000 gold while I'm dead.
How did I get that much? It's appeared already. Okay, good stuff. We are a little bit away from the draft. I'm hearing we're around about 8 to 10 minutes away. So, tell you what we'll do. We'll check in with the Major of Mischief once more alongside his newly found sidekick, who's proving very popular. Of course, the lovely Tonya.
It's a beautiful day in Kiev, isn't it, Tanya?
Beautiful, but windy and cold.
Yeah, that's a normal beautiful day in Ukraine, correct?
In this time of year, actually, no, but still.
She never just says yes to me, but anyway, it doesn't matter. I wanted to bring you out here to ask you a simple question. How popular is Dota in this area? Do people know a lot about it?
We will see it in a couple of days in the parts of Ukraine, but still, Dota is quite popular in here.
Yeah. Do you think normal people walking around would be able to identify some Dota stuff?
It depends on how normal they are. But I think we will try.
All right, let's go find out and ask some people if they can identify some of our favorite Dota heroes here on the streets, Tanya.
It's crazy.
The streets! Hello.
Hello.
What is your name?
My name is Jane.
Oh, hello. You're gonna tell me the name of these heroes, okay? Can you help me out here?
I will try.
Okay, fantastic. Here we go. Are you ready? What is that man's name?
Tusk. I don't
Tusk?
know. I don't know.
Do you play Dota?
No.
Be real with me, because you just got it right. That's 100% right, Tusk.
Okay.
Give me another one. This is incredible. All right, ma'am.
Puck?
Okay, no, you're cheating. You know Dota.
Actually, yes. I
You play Dota?
Yeah.
What a surprise! What a surprise! This is insane. What's your MMR?
Just a random person.
It's really low, sorry.
It's probably better than mine. Don't worry about it. All right, I'll give you this one.
I don't know this guy.
What's his name?
I really don't know what is.
All right, if you had to give him a name, what would you call him? Look at his face and tell me his name.
Ivan.
Ivan. That's a good one.
I don't know.
Ivan, I like it. All right, well, you did very well.
He looks like Ivan.
Ivan, all right.
This is a difficult one.
It is difficult. That's a difficult face to look at for a long time. Anything.
John?
John?
I don't know.
That's a good
I don't know,
John.
really.
I can see it, sir. Sir, you put in a lot of good effort. Can you try to guess what that person's name is?
Как вы думаете, как зовут это существо? Как его можно назвать?
Dragon.
Dragon. That's pretty good. That's pretty close, Victor. I like that. All right, give me another one. Dragon. Close. It's actually Roshan.
Очень близкие.
What about this guy?
Как его зовут?
Kind of looks like me, right?
Как выглядит я, да.
Fat man.
Like a man with a fat man, yeah.
That's pretty good. Fat man, I'll take that. Yes, punch. That basically
Его
fat
зовут
man.
Пудж, да, практически, ну, это значит, что он толстый мужчина, поэтому вы угадали.
Yes. All right, give me another one. Ah, what do you think he does?
no.
Oh, no.
Как вы думаете, чем он занимается по жизни? Кем он работает?
Кем угодно, топ-менеджер.
Maybe he's a top manager?
A manager. Ah,
Top
okay.
manager.
Ah,
Top
in a way, in a way.
Может быть, может быть.
Do you think he's good at this game?
Как вы думаете, он хорошо играет в компьютерные игры именно в нашу вот два?
Не уверен.
Don't think so.
Yes, you are correct. That's true. He's actually very good at this game. How old do you think he is?
Сколько ему лет, по-вашему?
Так, где-то 40 до 50.
He's in his 40s, 50s.
I actually don't know. I just wanted you to say. So,
Мы не знаем, сколько ему лет, просто хотели проверить. Но это наш коллега.
what do you think his name is?
Как думаете, его зовут?
Ну, не знаю.
I don't know.
Не могу знать. Я не знакома с ним.
I
Еще
never
не
met him, so
встречала.
I can't imagine how.
Не
how seen him.
знакомилась.
What do you think he does?
А чем он занимается в жизни, как вы думаете? Кем он
Ну,
работает?
я думаю, так, чистая, хорошая работа, приятная, ну, где-то в офисе, ну, может, так, где-то что-то, ну, не... Ну, ясно, что он не строитель и не грузчик.
Probably has a nice job in the office. He's definitely not working on a build or something else. Probably he
Ну,
works on that.
может, так, где-то игры, может, делает, ну,
And
что-то
possibly
такое.
he's doing, he's recreating the games.
Oh, do you think people like him?
Может быть, я не
Думаете,
знаю.
нравится людям?
Ну, нормальный мужчина,
He's very
симпатичный.
normal, cute
Oh, cute.
man,
All right.
handsome.
What do you think?
They say that it's theirs, man.
Oh, there, man. Would you date this man?
Как бы вы встречались с этим мужчиной?
Oh, he'll be happy to hear that. That's great. What do you think he does?
Как вы думаете, чем он занимается, где он работает?
Программист какой-то там старший, директор программной компании или
Maybe
еще
he's
что-нибудь.
the head of IT
Ведущий
company,
телевидения.
or maybe he's a TV host.
Oh, yeah, that's very close. Okay,
Это
that's a
очень
host.
близко, на самом деле ведущий.
I'm going to ask you if you can give me the name of the video game character in this.
Как вы думаете, как зовут этого героя
Just guess if you don't
из
know.
компьютерной игры?
Не, я не знаю.
I don't know. Ну как-нибудь, предположите.
Предположи.
Yeah, give him a
Якийсь
name.
крабр.
Скраббер.
Scrubber. I like that. Scrubber. Okay, good. I'll give you a point for that. This guy right
А
here.
этого как зовут?
Так, какой-то гномик какой-то.
Это
Гномик добренький.
What was that? What?
It's a dwarf.
A dwarf. all right, close enough. I'll take it.
Little dwarf.
What do you think his name? What would you name him?
Как вы думаете, как его зовут? Как бы вы его назвали?
Что-то очень красивое.
Something really beautiful, green.
Ну, почти бабочка.
Almost a butterfly.
Oh, butterfly. That's beautiful. Ladies, you're geniuses.
Highly desired man over here.
Anyway, welcome back to the Kiev Major, where apparently I'm Ice Frog. Who knew?
Game designer,
Yeah, manager.
manager.
Yeah.
Cute guy.
Hey, stop that now. That's so embarrassing.
Babushkas, the woman.
Yeah.
They are about
Yeah.
you, Paul.
Oh dear. Anyway, we're going to get back to our game. Thank you very much, Sir Action Snakes. We will be having words. And it is game 3 time between OG and Team Random. What are we expecting?
I think that we might see OG probably ban out that Venge again. I don't know if it was really like the whole problem that it was, but I feel like maybe it was something that kind of threw them off, just that tower pressure. I think that actually did have a big influence. I think that OG might be a bit scared coming into this next one too. I think that Wing showed some impeccable team fight in that last one. So, yeah.
Do we think the Wyvern and the DP are that good that they're bannable? I mean, they're not going to go first phase bans on those, surely.
I think they're heroes that have significantly less impact against certain lineups. So unless you're unless they're very good versus your lineup, you wouldn't have to ban them until later.
But the Venge is bannable.
I don't know. I feel like that's something like teams have played against more in scrims. Like maybe Wings, like Team Random, have played a lot in scrims. Maybe perhaps even against OG, and OG know that they're good with it. It's not a hero that I'm generally like, this hero is just destroying a game, but Team Random plays it really well.
Yeah, I feel like it just like enables them to do that like aggression kind of in a way to like pressure those towers. I'm not too sure. I mean, obviously we didn't talk about it as the MVP. We obviously were talking about Ice, the Wyvern in that last game, but it just seemed like they were comfortable in formulating a strategy like that works well around that kind of like save factor and objective taking and physical oriented lineup.
I also feel like as far as supports go with invisible impact, it's like Venge and Dazzle with the top two, like most added damage or most reduced damage, and people, you can't really see it in the game, but they're definitely having an impact.
Comment? What do you feel about OG's drafting?
I mean, OG feels like a well-constructed symphony, but I look at Wings and they're Jazz, and they're going to be able to kind of figure out these things. Like as we went through the draft, we were slowly discovering different things at how they were thinking about it, and then OG still kind of, they had this structure. They had these picks that they've already been seen with and they already know. And Wings, I don't know, a lot of those kind of felt like they came out of nowhere and they were highly successful and were able to kind of create something that was, in the end, beautiful.
Yeah, I love the music analogy, by the way, because symphonic is exactly how I'd see OG and how they draft. I'm not sure about Jazz unless it's completely nuts. And Jazz can be kind of nuts, I suppose. So it probably does suit Random, I guess.
I mean, it's a little bit nuts, but it does still have some rules that they fall upon. And
it sounds great.
And it did sound great. It looked great.
Just as you see, waiting for players to join the lobby. Hopefully our issues are behind us. In the meantime, we'll take some more social media questions. And again, once again, thank you very much for all the questions that you've placed in both Facebook and on the Reddit post as well. What is OG seeing in Arc Warden that the rest of the teams did not? We kind of touched on that a little bit. They've played it 4 times now in the group stages and in the knockout. Haven't won with it at all.
I think they're trying to kind of like think of similar concepts with their Naga and their Terrorblade, getting notes on those kind of like really farm depending split push heroes, but I don't really think that we're going to see it again, to be honest. I really don't. They have had no success on it. I think that I really don't. I'm not too sure what else they're seeing in it, to be completely honest with you.
Kiev?
It's looked a bit underwhelming in the games. OG's not the only team that I expect will run it at this tournament. I know Faceless ran it. I don't know if it's just once or a couple times.
I think it's just once.
But I do know that hero has been faring pretty well in pubs. I think it might just be because perhaps that hero fares a bit better in pubs than professional games. There are heroes like that. I know every time I see Arc Warden in my pubs, he will get some solo pickoffs on the supports. He will solo take some towers. And maybe when you're against a more coordinated team, he just can't do those things as well.
Yeah, I think the Arc Warden pick, we had a pub actually recently that we faced against, and it was a hero. It really did a really good job of split pushing, which I think is something that OG's kind of thinking about a little bit, as well as just being able to blow up these supports. I don't know if it's going to be used successfully at this event. Obviously, we haven't seen it be very successful, and OG seems to be somebody who really likes it, but until I see more games with it being well done, I don't believe in that hero yet.
I think also I think you can like build a lineup kind of in a way around it. Like if you're going to be picking the Arc Warden, I think the way to have it is like that's your strength. You have to build like a full lineup to make the Arc Warden like stand out. This one was like for me at least like a last pick Arc Warden, and I felt like Team Random already had heroes that kind of were like had a solution toward that. They picked it into Death Prophet. Maybe they didn't know like the whole interaction, the way it worked with it, but it felt like in that game it was already almost counterpicked when they did draft it.
Yeah, very lackluster indeed. As you see, we are waiting for players to join the lobby. Let's take one more social media question. And this one is, can any hero be played in any position with the correct item build? That's a good question.
Nope.
Why?
Because it can't.
Because it can't. That's the rules.
Would you see a Crystal Maiden with a Daedalus? Like
right,
you do get the damage talent.
That one's all right.
Shut up, Curtis.
I mean, I think maybe in pubs you could see some very unique builds and maybe even have some success.
I see very unique builds in mine.
And maybe you could see some success with that. But I think at the pro level, there are just going to be heroes that you will always pick over others.
I want to say about Connor's point. That's actually a really good point. If you want to play carry CM in your pubs, you can play carry CM.
Oh my! Please, Kurt, don't say this.
Please.
How the MMR works? It'll judge your impact in the game, right?
Okay.
So maybe you're 1,000 MMR lower than you should be, but you win with carry CM.
Let me just save the world from it, right? Okay. There's a man who I tortured yesterday, Leaf Eater. He's a mod on Dota 2. I apologise yesterday for telling people to go to Reddit and put stuff. Don't listen to. Delete everything that goes on Reddit for the next 5 minutes related to anything you should play on pubs. I've just saved pubs. Thank me later.
Don't worry, they'll be.
I guess maybe not carry CM, but mid CM.
No, come on now.
No, mid CM with phase
CM
boots.
is
With phase
ham.
boots, it's actually super good. With frostbite, with phase boots.
I feel like I'm being trolled.
Send him the replays, Kurt.
I got that.
Dazzle mid.
That's a classic.
That's a classic. Max poison.
Jakiro mid.
Okay, Jakiro mid's legitimately
Legit.
good.
Jakiro's
I think
actually,
it's actually
You
a
want to
real
just
thing.
push through towers? You just want to clean lanes?
But the question
Speaking
was
of
with any
support
item build,
heroes,
though.
who can go mid, Pugnet, whatever. I mean,
Yeah.
if you get the items, I mean, sure.
Okay.
I mean, when I looked at my Dota of my longest games, I think I was playing at AA, and I had like
It was like 2 hours,
daedalus-
3 minutes
yeah,
or
it was
something?
2 hours long. I had like Daedalus MKB Rapier, and I had like 40 kills or something. So like technically, yeah, but
No.
do you want to? If you want to win,
Yeah.
probably not.
Okay. Are you gents fine with that answer? Do you want to flesh it out anymore? Do you want to come up with any more ridiculous carries or mids?
I mean, I think that's kind of the cool part about Dota is that you can do a lot of very different and very unique and things that work.
No, it's
And
true,
you don't
right?
get banned by the devs.
And you don't get banned by the devs. No, I mean,
Always a plus.
There are other moments where the roles are very defined, aren't they? Very tightly defined around a particular hero that you just can't. There is no other way of using it or utilizing it in the game. So I think it's great that we have such a wide array. How many of the 113 outside of captains, 113 do you feel like you could legitimately use pretty much anywhere? It's got to be more than half, right?
Yeah, probably more than half, right? We've seen there's a couple supports that can be used in different positions.
I mean, let's just talk about this tournament. We saw mid Skyroth.
Yeah.
We saw offlane Lifestealer.
Yeah. Mid Veno.
Mid Veno. Carry Veno.
Yeah, carry Veno, rather. Yeah.
We've seen a lot of stuff. You know, for a while, there was this offlane Chen going around when he had the 25% spell amp. Like, legitimately, like, my team was going to run it because we thought it was really good. And then they nerfed it and they ruined everything.
But yeah, that has been a very
Dota's
wide
a very
range.
cool game like that. It's limited to your imagination.
Trying to find any
That
other.
sounds like a perfect way to end that particular question. It's limited to your imagination. There you go.
Ooh.
Play CM mid.
Yeah, play CM mid and also do the Owen build.
Please,
you know?
please,
What's
please
Owen
leave it.
build?
Not for
All of
CM.
those
oh,
things.
you're talking
The
about
roster.
not the carry Darkseer.
Oh, the carry Darkseer, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
no.
We won't even mention it. I don't want to ruin everyone's
Don't.
games.
Just that one don't.
Please. Okay, let's take one more question. Nice seagull, by the way.
That's nice.
What is it? It's
Like a
just a
pixelated,
random seagull?
pixelated seagull.
Yeah, but why?
I don't know.
I mean,
You just like seagulls?
Why not?
seagulls,
What have
Latucan
you
has
got
arrived,
against
birds
what
on the internet.
What have you got against
Weehaw?
seagulls?
Thunderbirds, right?
I don't know.
Are you a seagull hater?
Some people just really like some animals, I guess.
Yeah.
And my girlfriend really likes goats, so.
Okay,
Well,
moving on. How do you not lose your voice from casting so long? I guess we need a caster here, really. Haven't really got any casters as such here, but yeah.
I mean, I tend to talk a lot, so I think maybe my voice is trained to that.
Plus one of
Conrad
that.
used to sound much higher, but he's now got this deep, gravelly voice from talking too much.
Well, I mean, actually, this is my normal voice. And, I actually use a higher voice to make sure that you guys feel comfortable in these situations.
That was pretty good.
I mean, I could talk like this all day.
I don't know if you've met Conrad before. He does the voiceovers for the trailers for movies.
Actually, I don't do that voice very well, but I actually can't do any accents, but that's the only thing I can do at any time.
No, that's pretty good.
With a crowd like that. They seem to enjoy that.
Maybe. I think, maybe if call me up. I'm happy to do some trailers. Maybe the intros for the teams. Can write some fun stuff up and.
If hopefully I was attending TI, you know, and I heard that voice come onto an I would lose it.
What do you mean? In the good way or the bad way?
A bit of both, you know. It was Conrad doing the voices.
I'm feeling like we should record Conrad just for you guys.
That's pretty
Just,
great.
just if you get a TI, we'll do Conrad.
I got you.
Next on stage, Team NP.
Yeah, let's do it.
Perfect, right?
Sure. I'll write up some stuff. I don't have a full recording set up at home, but
I'll
we'll
buy
make
you
some,
one just so I can have the voice.
we'll make something happen.
We'll just put it on your iPod, so it's just for you. So you just walk out. And it's all you hear when you walk out.
Yeah, if you guys hear screaming from the booth, that's me.
Special messages from
Help!
Conrad.
Help!
Ah, dear me. We are going to look ahead to this draft. Eventually, it's going to be with us. I guess OG are going to be worried headed into this one, aren't they? Because they have been given a few headaches by Random Gaming now.
Yeah, they've been giving a few headaches, and they're being targeted very heavily. The last like 4 games or 5 games that they've even played, it's been Naga Terrorblade ban first too. So it already kind of like steers them toward a different kind of method. And they've actually, I think I was looking at it, they're 0-6 or 0-5, I believe it is, when they haven't been playing either the Naga, the Terrorblade, or the Alchemist.
Wow.
So them being limited in their options definitely hurts, and playing versus a team like Random, which is Random, it makes it a lot harder.
Yeah, absolutely. Expectations for this third and final draft? What do you want to see from OG?
What I want to see from OG is I want them to go back to what they're good at. Not in terms of what heroes they're picking, but just how they're playing. We saw flashes of it in Game 1 and 2. You know, what OG are really good at is they're really good at collapsing on a tower. In Game 1, you know, you had Enigma come in with this unexpected blackout. Even in Game 2 where they lost, they had this amazing move to bottom lane. I think what they need to achieve that, though, is they need a hero that actually takes the tower. They did it once in Game 2 just because that's all their lineup could really do, just that one time. And then, but if they had a Rasta like in Game 1, they could continuously do it over and over and take these towers. And then they free up the map and they play the OG game. They get split push, they get pickoffs, and then they look super smooth.
In terms of the players that play, Conrad, has anyone stood out for you over the 2 games that you feel like is having a bigger impact in the game than you thought they would, or someone who's having less impact?
I think Ice on that Winter Wyvern increased the impact level just like
Game
crazy.
2?
Yeah, I think his level Game 2. I mean, S4, I think we always look at somebody as a playmaker, and especially when he's on that Enigma, he plays that hero so well, and I think he single-handedly helped OG get to where they need to be to win that game.
Yeah, 2 standout players in both games. Where was S4 in Game 2?
He was playing the Brewmaster, and he had a hard lane. I think he couldn't get the farm that he needed to end up becoming as big as required. That troll matchup was really difficult.
I mean, the game was 40 minutes long. S4 picked up a Vlad's at 24 minutes, and that was the last item he got.
Yeah.
So it was a rough game for Brewmaster.
Tough to bounce back from that as well.
Yeah, they put a lot of pressure on him.
How do you assess Faith Bien? We talked about him in glowing terms. Chinese players widely recognised him as the best player in the world last year. He hasn't quite hit those heights in the first few months of this year. How do you feel he's playing here?
I think when he's playing those type of like initiators, that kind of stuff, when he was playing his Sand Kings, and now when he played this Bat Rider, I think that's when I personally love seeing him shine. Like his Night Stalker, it wasn't like he played poorly or anything. His item decisions were also great, but I feel like he's like the specialist at like running in and having like that kind of aggressive when he makes like the first initiation happen. I feel like he's so good at understanding which target to go on first as well. So I'd love seeing him have those type of initiators.
Do you think he's taken on too much? Best player in the world's on his shoulders already. He's won a TI. He's now captain. He's drafter. He's man in the middle. He's the one that makes all the plays. Has he got too much on his shoulders?
I don't know. I don't think so. He seems like a very like humble and calm guy. We actually got to talk to him a lot at one of the summits. Got sit next to him and talk to him. His English is actually amazing, by the way. He was super like nice, and just the way he described things and explained everything, it was like so easy to understand. He's a great mind about Dota. Yeah,
hard to believe that he's a millionaire sitting there in China and still wants to win more TIs. What is it that motivates different players? We talked about this the other day. I think it was No One from Virtus Pro said, "Yeah, I just want to win a TI and then I retire." I mean, how true that is when you win a TI, we'll have to wait and see. But that's a different approach, isn't it, from someone like Faith Bien, who wants to win more and more. So why does that happen? Why do you think some want to win tons and tons and others just want to win one and be done?
They've already won one. They continued.
Would you?
They didn't quit
right
afterwards.
Would you win one and retire?
I'm not even close to that level. Probably.
Okay, let's talk about a man who has been there, seen it, done it. Won plenty of money.
I mean, like, I feel like my situation is unique, though, right?
Okay, why?
I won the TI, but then I got kicked. So it's like...
Yeah. What does it make it hard? I mean, you could have come out afterwards on the final day and sat down with us when we were talking at the end of the show and go, "Yeah, I'm done. I'm done now. I won a TI. What more is there?" But you didn't. You wanted to come back. You wanted to prove yourself. And even more so, I guess, after getting removed.
Yeah, that's the thing. My situation was a bit different. And also, for me, I've never thought like my end goal was just to win a TI. Like, I love playing Dota. I think all these guys, what makes most pros really good at Dota is that they love the game. Like, I was trying to think, as you were talking about the questions, like, what would I do if I quit Dota? I'd probably play more Dota. So, like,
so why not carry on playing Dota?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Good. We are hearing that, unfortunately, we still do not have all the players ready for the lobby. So what we're going to do is catch up with Sir Action Slacks once more. Now, here's the thing, right? If you were to tell anyone the worst things you've done in life, or secrets, or get advice, who would you turn to? You'd go to your bartender, wouldn't you?